So when passing through that, you see, they remember that soldier, image of God. Thinking that line, immense help to reduce irritation. And then automatically reduce anger, like that. So that's very powerful sort of method, very powerful method. So dealing at this stage where about to develop this negative emotion, that's much easier. And fully develop anger, and then even sometimes suicide also take place. So this is really out of control. So it is because of the clever way, these negative emotion about to moving, then realize that mindfulness, with help of mindfulness, then try to combat. Jihad, real jihad. Oh. Oh.
Spiritual warfare.
Yes, spiritual warfare. Oh, that's right. Oh. Then, Ranshing Yambe, Simjeni, Jesota Shoroga Chugudigi, Tajik Simjen member. Kaziranga, the Geshe Sonam never, she ate Nangan Soro, she gurned Tuksha Yidusum, the Chikpa, she Yodia Soro, the Maris, the Sabor de Zawachores.
And so the verse number 4 says, when I see beings of unpleasant character and so forth, what this shows us is that we should not like stigmatize people. Sometimes it happens in society that people with AIDS, HIV positive, are stigmatized, and therefore we should not do this, especially when it comes to seeing poor people. We should really feel them dear.
And also, you see, in America, one occasion, you see, we have some discussions. You see, those prisoners, so after sort of finish their the sentence, even they come back to the society, the many people reject. So that kind of thing should not happen. Then these individuals must develop the feeling we are same. We must, so society must also embrace these people. So should not isolate. So this is the then Dalai Shenje Chado sa Shologo Tigi, that so mix that so the jing job member chat, that Daniel member chat, that one that so Chedunin Genjushin or Gensang Chung. Then Chumba, the Hakor to it, the Champs Tango race. She holds Chongara only any Champs Danny, any day party, jiggling kneeling, member church. That Gavachum Sham and Nataya, Gavayana, the land of war, which is simply Nijish Shiruna, Genta Sar Miju Sene. Yankora, Jig Paru, Jig Mong, the Numu Tusungi Wangi. 지금 민서부터 제일 거야나 안데 랜트고 그래서 대 랜마트에서 샤나 양 예버시요 근데 랜트야디 템베삼에 끊을란데 아니 그 양부가 랜트고 하지 하다 뒤안 그 신고도와 근데 그바셴 매나 어디 총가랑길래마다 자가 샤는 거셔서 나무 다 가다베기 시시 배지 수이나 부종이나 체가이나 수지 공인도스 공이야 마가징이지 차도징이지 미슈원이 어디 니어지 그 비미질이야 보주된 비미질이야 근데 그냥 공 가다메기 시공 수준나베 그도리야 아니 그냥 부대유였으니 망조디길이야 지금보다 비밀도 스타일 되잖아요. 가르메기 시대기 대샤 다른 데도 세 대샤다. 되네 아마디 시우지 겨충제. 야 기시비게 수준나스테 하네. 당에 노샤 권다스. 등에 부딘 만나라나 시베. 라소 소다 저는 그렇게 때 직대 직 가서 팬이 뒤도 지금 차당 소 가격에 제시 송셔야지. 대 어도 와도 돼. 그래서 다 가다면 기시지. 다들 저기 안 다가서 저도. 재상 어디 되게 제 미식 견주샤 그러면 그도라 아도 반인식 건데 따고 마시래. 땅에 미 견주시는 소송에 심주체. 그 견주디 소소리야. 뭐네다 견주셔야지. 시서 예배지를 되는 소수 겨진이 주주다. 다들 뭐네 지 조분년에 견을 두고 쭉슬라고 당신. 다들 뭐네 전에 45인 삼아셔야지. 근데 되게 견주 지 그게 심매버지는 다 닝저 따고 마셔버려서 반인식해야지 또 상대도 또 시작을 했다.
And so, with regard to verse number 5, of course, the practice, with regard to this practice, where it says, when someone whom I have, when others out of jealousy treat me with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. So, with regard to accepting defeat and offering victory to others, this verse is saying that, of course, with compassionate feeling, you should actually relate to others in this way, that giving them the victory and accepting the defeat for yourself. People who this is not talking about people with whom you may not have any kind of relation or anything like that, indifferent people, but someone who is actually causing you some kind of a harm. And you should, of course, do this kind of practice. But here, you should also be able to see the purpose of doing this practice. What is the reason that you should do such practice in relation to that person? Of course, when it comes to bodhisattva, practice of bodhisattvas, one of the precepts of bodhisattvas is that if someone is actually doing something which is not right towards you, and you find every reason to actually face that person accordingly, then if you don't do that, then it's one of the infractions of your vows. Therefore, it is advised that with a sense of compassion towards that person, you should actually try to overcome make the person not do those things, negative things. And if you don't do that, you are going against the infraction, your vow. And so you accordingly, with a sense of compassion towards that person, with a sense of helping that person, you should actually try to stop the person from doing those negative actions. If there is no such great purpose to fulfill, then of course you can take the defeat onto yourself and accept the defeat and offer victory to others. There is a story in relation to this. Yes.
Okay. Now, 가나다게 팬다고 러시아 오시는 신인 나왔다 왔다. 저렇게 다 수肯시 대가랑게 배 팬단 배 제불 장배 미치 소소 진행 롱제잖아. 지단보다 친구들한테 이메일은 다 패지 대바지 렌치하게 토당 요소 싫어봐. 레디네 다 장주고 쓴 뭐냐면 샴페인을 놓잖아요. 지기 어디 들리네. 다 아도 파 너버지기 살라. 디베 계신이 삼아지기. 다딩에 서버 공배 된 초이. 서베냐면 된게 다 계신이 삼아도는 진짜고리스.
And then verse number 6 shows that for those whom you have actually helped before, if they cause you some harm, then you don't actually deserve that. And even by kind of a law, you may have the right to sue the person for what they are doing against you. But for someone who is a practitioner of bodhicitta, then what you need to practice is that even though you are being harmed by this person whom you have helped before, you should show patience, practice patience and tolerance, because that person becomes the greatest source of that practice of patience, and therefore you have to regard the person as your spiritual teacher.
That is who they Don't know the Jiva, Pendaman of Moonlambu, my nerd to go silent out of them shows that don't let me share.
Then verse number 7 shows the practice of visualizing giving and taking.
That day, Yella, so sometime, Chiton chair. That day, Ranjin Zingi, Yunsam, Shenjin Zingi, Yandasam. And then, Shenji Tungeda, Tungegi Gutidi, Susu, Lime Mevache. So Suji, Digida, any Digi, Gawadi, the Shanapa, Dan, Mibachati, Pandashayota. Any Goro Comna, Tini Lungley Jabber Shas, and no Junju Chevakatul Pa Don, to Lemon Mibacha.
And with regard to this, the practice of giving and taking, or if you can actually go through this kind of meditation and visualization, first of all, you need to see the shortcomings of cherishing this extreme self-centered attitude, and also see the positive qualities and attributes of cherishing others more than oneself. And then you take the next step where you go through this taking on the suffering, the misery and the causes of misery that are in others into yourself, and then also giving out, considering to give your positive energy and the happiness, joy and happiness and so forth, and their causes. And so once you become quite adept at this kind of meditation, then you can actually use using your in and out breath, and where when you breathe in, you take the suffering and the causes of suffering that are within others, and when you breathe out, you imagine giving all your positive energy, your joy and their causes to others.
다가래 너는 그러면 말해서 대답 그저 최제 유튜브 같으면 마방식 다디 되게 냠니 체인이잖아요. 양질로 수준에 땅아 쳐야 그래서 미시면 로사서로 같이 냠내 버리사로 지가 애네 아들도 자동 되는 거 저주 선발해서 단 민문지 지금도 살아서 가베이다 있다 야고야 말이스 진짜 되게다 최냠니 차리디 삼바 남다 지금 최제 만져보고 그래스 아무 당분이 없으셔 대답 그저 최제 유튜브 같으면 마방식 주균 규모를 시에버려서다 되게 알으시는 분이나 시야더라 저들이 러시 동 수동보 동문이 수수사 뒤태버 제세 내니 동문이 그 통이나 아니 그게 나왔던 멜로디도 로도 샤인도잖아요 규모도 로도 샤야지 이거가 제너들이 다 되니기냐면 사들이 냠샤거리야 단돈대로 동문이려 제지도 그게다 建造送这个团的上单呢，都你看见不成？是可能可能刚才这样呀，对吧？对看了，纯是点不行，因人生里面那么多娘那个这把没论路，是的，这实际上个跨入到上单呢，可能是这个当场的然后这还不是用这个多，这东西到这要嘛的，这那这用多。 아니 전환간도 뒤져래 지금 라면은 저 식지 뒤에 무슨 잘하자 다음에 거할란다면 라면을 마도 신 지금 누가 좀 모르셔 규매랑나 전에네 실파도 치송을 때인데 규매랑나 전에네 난 뒤도 인용 ዝ벌수 상다나 때미지고 살라라 다 치송어도 난 ዝ벌 니가로도 상스다인데 지 무슨 봐. 왜 다들자는 니규메도 차이도잖아요. 주민 인수 탈라라. 다 들리지 고민도잖아요. 아니 저베트베 심리슈는데 저도 나기 한번 매수돼 저 송대하게 저베트베 심리데 아니 들리데다 송진 니 땅에 인달이야. 저저 저도 되는 대지도잖아요. 아니 다와치 틀리듯이. 저 어디 같이 돼. 누가 좀 살아야 돼. 맞아 딱 와서 한다 되게. 그냥 콩과를 쓰는 현동 배쳤다. 현동 우모치 배쳤어.
So when you go do these practices that are mentioned in these verses, sometimes you might, from the corner of your mind, when you feel that your practice is going well and you feel you are doing well in your practice, from one corner of your mind you might expect praises from others, or saying that, oh, this person is a really great practitioner, or something like that. And also sometimes there's maybe sometimes empty kind of a hollow expectations, thinking that others might say that I'm a bodhisattva. So so when these happens, of course, what happens is you are actually indulging in what is known as 8 worldly concerns. And this should not happen to you. So this is with regard to the first number. First.
Oh, there is real danger. Like you see me on throne. And I explain. Then from some corner, remote area, sometimes you feel, oh, people may say, Dalai Lama, quite nice person. Quite good scholar. Then, if you see, when that kind of feeling, that kind of sort of person, the feeling my way,
no.
Come. It is, as a practitioner, immediately strike as hard as possible. That's very important.
So that is the meaning of the first 2 lines of the last verse. And then with regard to the next 2 lines, what it shows is, on the one hand, emptiness, and also the conventionality of things, how things, in other words, by understanding that things do not have any intrinsic or inherent independent existence, yet they do have conventional existence, therefore they are like illusion. And so within this kind of, you should carry your practice within this kind of view, or called seeing everything as being like illusion. And just as the 7th Dalai Lama has said, just as the clouds dissipate in the space or sky, likewise, all these impressions, experiences, and appearances, and so forth, these called mental constructs, they too kind of dissipate or dissolve within this sphere of empty sphere of the mind. And also in one of the Jonang texts, the great commentary or the great treatise of the Shentong, the other emptiness, there is a beautiful verse which captures this sentiment. It says that there's this clear appearance of everything being like an illusion, or a magical illusion, and then therefore the mind, that awareness, has this clear called sight of there being no independent existence as such, and objectification of things. And then it goes on to say that within this meditation on emptiness, there is it is inexpressible. There is this flow of inexpressibility of the sphere of emptiness. And so when you are able to do this kind of meditation on emptiness, seeing everything as being like illusion and so forth, I mean, the kind of negative emotions that we have, which usually actually overburdens us, makes us so tired, I mean, they kind of are relieved. And therefore, it says in the same the Jonang text that this great bliss just flows.
As a practitioner, that's the real drugs. People, you see, too much sorrow, the restlessness in mind, then relying to take drug. So practitioner, that these things are really effective, effective yet no side effect. So very good drug, isn't it? Usual drug, lot of side effect. So now completed, I think about 3 o'clock. So now, people, I think traditionally, non-Buddhist background, many of you like that, but showing interest about this sort of thinking. This is simply, it's a thing. But as I always emphasize, it is much safer and better to keep one's own traditional spirituality than those people who have not much sort of interest about one's own faith. Then it's quite free. If you feel it's in these kind of way of training of mind, if you feel something useful, then think more serious. And then those non-believer, besides concept of next life or Buddha, or simply try to keep warm-heartedness, and then your life become more meaningful, more fruitful. So at the end of your life, then will not be much regret, much sadness. If you lead our life, only think money, 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 then at the end, you already know now money no longer any sort of value. Then your whole life remain like slave for money. All your effort then fruitless, isn't it? So think more about the inner value. Thank you. That's all.
Okay, through today's more than 1 year, so many people involved. So I want to say thank you. And thank you, Quang Minh Temple, and special Venerable Phuoc Tan, and the Quang Minh community, and the community. And very, very generosity and very supportive and a very wonderful partnership. Every month meeting, always smile each other and help each other. Very deep relationship. And also thank you, volunteer, 400 and volunteers today's help these things. And also many professions, people donate service time and sound people and video people and cooking and everything. Is so much support. Thank you so much. Today is the number of attending, and over 200 Chinese people came to teaching, and over 800 Vietnamese people came, and also scholarship and gift ticket, 250 ticket. And three times accepted my invitation, and 2002, 2007, 2003, and His Holiness, your kindness I cannot explaining. And bottom of my heart, I wish you healthy, long life until 6 million Tibetan people inside Tibet who are waiting for you until they can see you. Please, to you, all age and middle age and small age, everyone every day waiting you. And please, until that see them and healthy and long life.